Hottie Toddy in the building. The Rebels hosted LSU, winning this game 55-49. And Mike and I both whiffed on this, predicting LSU to go into Oxford and get this win, sending Ole Miss down a entirely different path that they're now going to be on. I said 31-34 LSU. You said 38-35. No, you picked Ole Miss. You picked Ole Miss. My bad. I wrote stuff down weird. It's messing me up. You picked Ole Miss. This game came out 49-55 in Ole Miss's favor. Obviously, Ole Miss did more than cover by overcoming the 3-point favorite in LSU's way. Dude, I've never seen so many yards in my life.
Yeah, I mean, 104 points, 1,300 plus yards of offense. And, I feel like, not to be a little petty, but I feel like these are the types of games that people would have said Josh Heupel would be winning. And that's happened a time or two in the 40s, Alabama, 52-49. But here's Lane. Lane's been in this boat before with Arkansas a few years ago. Mm-hmm. He's been in this boat a couple of times. And what world are we living in that LSU gives up 55 to Ole Miss? I mean, I know that Lane is good offensively, but what world are we living in when they give up 706 total yards in 55?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Bro, they both threw Jackson Dart, Jane Daniels both threw 4 scores. Jackson Dart 389, Jaden Daniels 414. The yards just did not stop. Freaking Energizer Bunny just on and on and on. The stats that are behind this game are just absolutely maddening. And obviously, Ole Miss did the right thing and saying, all right, Judkins, here's the ball. And here's the ball again. And here's the ball one more time. And here's the ball for a counting of 33 balls on the ground or rushing yards or rushing attempts, 33 carries, 177 yards. And he even had a catch. So 34 total touches. Can we get this guy? Is he available?
Gosh, what if he transferred? Oh, my gosh.
Do we have free agency yet in college football?
Right the deal. And, yeah, I mean, they ran for 317 on LSU, 317 on the ground, in addition to Dart's 389. Balance.
Oh, for sure. So I think the main point of conversation for me is, Ole Miss was coming off the gut-wrenching loss to Bama, and I thought for them that this win was going to be really, really important. But they haven't. I mean, this is just a series that's gone in LSU's favor. I'm pretty sure even in the last decade. I would love to know those outcomes. But what do you think this does for Ole Miss going forward? And what does this do for the flipping West Division?
The West is a nightmare. It's an absolute train wreck because, LSU, in the sense that LSU was your projected winner of the West, that they would be a playoff team and they're out. They are not going to compete for a 14 playoff spot. Sure, if it's 12 teams, and they win out, that's what they're looking at. But, I mean, LSU now sits at third in the West. With Ole Miss, funny enough, behind them. Yeah. Ole Miss had to have this game. I mean, you got Arkansas next, which is desperate for a win. You're hosting them. You're traveling to Auburn, which you can't mess around with, as we saw Saturday, as you'll see anytime Hugh Freeze is coaching your squad. Then you get a bit of a break with Vanderbilt, and then it just heats back up. Texas A&M, going to Georgia. I mean, They had to have this win if they want to compete for anything at all in this conference. I think now you're looking at a 9-3 floor if they lose to A&M and Georgia. You still got the Egg Bowl, obviously, which again they've lost when they've been the more talented team, which they definitely are. Yeah. But this should set them up for a 9-3 floor with an outside shot at 10-2. I don't see them going to Athens and beating Georgia if they couldn't go to Tuscaloosa and beat Alabama. Still, but you just never know when a team puts up 706 yards against LSU, what they can do.
I'm glad you mentioned that because that was a direction I was getting ready to go. Going into the season, we talked about the ridiculousness that was Georgia's schedule. All right, they just went toe-to-toe with Auburn. Ole Miss just put up a heck ton of yards against LSU. If Georgia draws this Ole Miss, if this Ole Miss shows up, not saying it's a win, but again, might be closer than the experts think. Could be problematic for Georgia.
100%. If this game was at Oxford, then I'd probably be taking Ole Miss to cover any number if Georgia was the favorite. I mean, any number less than a field goal, I'd be even down to a field goal. I'd be taking Ole Miss to cover because of the way we've seen Georgia start games. If for nothing else, at home it'll be a different animal. Georgia's not looked great at home or on the road, but we know what they are and how tough they are to beat ultimately before we ever get to that point. That was a must win. I think Lane really needed that because he still can't slay Alabama. Now he beats LSU. He's going to create a little breathing room for himself, especially if they can build on it. If they can build on it and get to 9-3, because I think again that should be their floor now. Creates a little breathing room for himself because they're set up. They're set up to keep going. You got Judkins another year. You're killing it in the portal in the terms of receivers and quarterbacks. At this point, you've got Dart doing his thing. You've got guys behind him that should be set up for success in the long run. So I think they had to have it.
No, I'm in total agreement with you. However, I will say this. The Arkansas game next week, don't be surprised if the Razorbacks turn that one out just from the little things that we know about the West Division.
Exactly. Extreme parity in the West, it seems right now.
Yeah. But let me ask you this. If I were to tell you going into the season, hey, by week 5, LSU is going to be out of the college football playoffs.
No way. Not a chance, dude. Not a chance. I mean, I would have, again, they were Vegas had them right there against FSU. I think it was a touchdown in both teams' favor at one point.
Yeah.
We certainly didn't expect them to lose by 21 points.
Yeah.
And what I expected was more so that week 3 team that we saw when they whipped up on Mississippi State at Mississippi State. That's what I expected to get.
Yeah.
And then they have this close game with Arkansas leading into this loss on Saturday. That was eye-opening for me. And I projected that LSU would more than cover. I think it was a large spread because it was at home. Mm-hmm. It was like 14, 17 points, and I said they could double that.
Yeah.
And they certainly didn't. They were lucky to escape with a win against Arkansas, and they didn't escape Ole Miss.
What is this? What is this world that we're living in? I want to talk about Jaden Daniels just for a second. This dude's got to learn how to go down. He now has one of the funniest clips in college football that I have ever seen. He's got to learn to slide. He's got to learn to go down. If he makes it to the next level, which I think is a real possibility, the dude can put some touch on a deep ball. He's got a gorgeous, gorgeous deep ball. He's elusive. He can extend plays with his legs. So he's got a lot of things there. I think he's smart. He's going to be the product of Brian Kelly, who can put dudes in the pros. But that clip, that play of him not going down and just getting absolute tallywhacked, plastered, and the ball shooting up like it's a grease pig or something. So dang funny. I showed my wife that, and she watched that on replay. So funny.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like he's expecting the defender to slow down because he kind of slowed down, did a little half juke, and proceeds to get lit up. And that's going to happen if you don't put yourself on the ground. I mean, you're still going to get hit a lot of times when you slide or give yourself up because it's hard for defenders to stop, and he certainly didn't do that. I'd like to transition into their trip to Columbia, Missouri, where Missouri's still undefeated. Missouri is ranked ahead of them. Don't be surprised if Missouri is a 1 or a 2 point favorite because of home field advantage, because of the issues we've seen from LSU. Now, I like their offense and their chances to go in there and score. I'm worried about them getting stops versus anyone at this point, though.
Yeah. Do you remember the amount of times we referred to last year as 2007? Do you remember that?
Every week, starting probably October 1st, we did it. I bet you every week.
Imagine going into this season. I told you by week 5, LSU will be eliminated from the playoffs, and Mizzou will be ranked higher than them, and Mizzou will be undefeated.
2007 it is.
2007 it is. What world are we living on? Well, nonetheless, I was wrong. I took Ole Miss. All right, I took LSU. Mike got it right, taking Ole Miss 49-55. I believe this is the first time that I'm ever about to say this. If you have not seen the highlights from this game, you need to go watch the highlights from this game because it was an absolute barn burner. The joy that is college football. Nonetheless, Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin, right the ship, hosting the Bayou Bengals, winning that game 49-55.
Still waiting on the outrage from the national media regarding the trash thrown on the field. I haven't seen much of it. I'm sure it's coming. Sure it's coming.
NCAA, you're on the clock.
At David Ubben.